Alright, hello everyone, I'm back, and I just want to say again thank you for all the views and all my new subscribers, and I really appreciate the comments, and I've been getting back with each and every one of you as I come across them. So again, thank you for watching my videos and going through this journey with me. And today I wanted to talk about kind of like the atmosphere that I dealt with as a witness, being a woman in the organization. My experience, not saying everyone had the same, but this is just my experience. So I found certain kingdom halls to be very cliquish. I lived in Germany when I first learned about the truth as a child, and so as a child, of course, you're not going to notice the cliquish part because you're a kid. And so I was in Germany till I was 18, and we went to an English-speaking congregation, so from 9 to 18. 1 year we spent in Washington, but the majority of the time I was in Germany, and didn't notice it. I lived in Colorado and went to a hall there, and I was a teenager, but loved everybody there. Everybody was kind and helpful, and I enjoyed being there. So then, as an adult, I lived in Alabama, and that I was there with that congregation off and on for 20 plus years, and unfortunately, I found that hall to be very cliquish. To even at some point, I was like, I'm gonna have to find another hall to go to, and I did attend another hall, and you had to get permission to, start attending another hall because they wanted you to go to the hall that they assigned you to. That was, even though this particular hall was further away from where I lived than the hall that I decided I wanted to go to, because it was closer, and also because it was just a little too cliquish for me. So the reason I feel that it was cliquish is because with the sisters, as you know, there's elders' wives, ministerial wives, and then there's the pioneers, and then there were those who were married to someone who might have once been a Bethelite, or they both were Bethelites and they both no longer attend Bethel. But if you were attached to a man that had a title, or you were elder's kid, you were treated differently if you weren't someone who was attached to someone who had that title. So I was someone who was not attached to someone who had that title, and I was not a pioneer, even though when I was attending, I was out in service on a regular basis. So some of the sisters were elder sisters. There were women who were married to elders. I was watching some videos of other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and I came across a girl named Ali Milar. She's written a book called The Last Days, and she went over a few topics where how the witnesses were controlling. And one of the ways that they were controlling, the elders had their wives, and their wives kind of like were keeping us in check, I guess you could say. So, for instance, if they felt your attire wasn't appropriate, or if they felt your children were behaving a certain way, or if you missed a meeting, or if you weren't out in field service enough, then they were supposed to be the mature sisters that were supposed to come and find out what's going on as to why you're not attending, and I guess to a certain extent reprimand you and encourage you to, get yourself together, even down to your home life. That's even if you're a single parent in your home life. Not all the elders' wives were that way, and or the elder sisters. I actually had really close sisters who were much older than me, like old enough to be my mother and old enough to be my grandmother. They were some of my closest some of my closest friends. I had friends from all ages, but some of my closest friends were those that were the women that were older than me. So, but there were those that I'll just say, they just didn't like me, and I don't know why. Only the fact they probably were judging me because I was a single parent, and I mean that's the only because the particular ones who did not like me, I didn't really have a lot of interaction with them, not by my choice but by their choice. So I'll just give an example. So I used to like to throw gatherings or little parties, and I would with my children I would throw them so they would have friends, because I grew up not having a lot of friends because I was a Jehovah's Witness, and 99% of the time, because I was my family moved a lot, I was the only Jehovah's Witness in the classroom. So, and because of those, no birthday parties, no holiday celebrations, so I was excluded a lot because of that, having to sit outside in the hallway where everybody else was in class having fun. So I didn't want my children to go through that, so I made sure I had parties for them. And I like to party too. I'm an adult, so I threw gatherings for the sisters because I wasn't married at the time, and so I would have gatherings for the sisters, and the sisters that we had kids together, and the single sisters that we had kids together, and married too. But those who wanted to get together, we always would try to do something to get together, whether it was just pizza and music, dancing and having fun. We would try to get together. There was a particular sister who just did not care for me, like I mentioned earlier, and the meeting was over, and one of the sisters that I spent a lot of time with was close to her, and she comes over and she says, "We're getting together at Sister such and such's house at this time, and you should come." And I was like, "Okay, I'll come." So then I went to the sister, because I always like to bring something, whether it be soda, water, food, whatever, especially since I'm bringing myself and my kids, then I'd like to contribute toward the food and drink that's there. So I asked her, Sister such and such told me, that we're all getting together, and I wanted to know what would you like me to bring? And she just kind of said, well, you weren't supposed to know about that, but since you've been told, you can bring this, this, and that. And she just looked dead at me like there was absolutely nothing wrong with what she said, and that it hurt me to my core. I said, "Okay, thank you," and I just walked away. And I went to the sister that told me about what was going on, and she said, "I can't believe she said that. It was I don't know why she said it to you." And I told her I wasn't going to come. She said, "You should just come anyway. Just come." I told her, "I really don't think I should." And she goes, "No, you come anyway." So I did go, and it was awkward, and I knew she didn't want me there, but the other sister was encouraging me to go, and there was a part of me that was like, well, maybe if I'll go, she'll see I'm a nice person. There's no reason for her to have us not to be sisters, since we're sisters in faith. So I went. I didn't stay long. It was still awkward when I walked in. She didn't look surprised to see me, but you could tell that I was not welcomed to be there. And the other sister, who's my friend, she noticed the little tension between us. No one else did, because I didn't tell anyone else what she had said, and I had decided I wasn't going to tell anyone else what she said. I just knew that from then on I was just going to have to handle her differently, even though it hurt that she didn't want me around for whatever her reason was. So I decided to throw my own get-together, and it was not out of spite to get back at her for not having me there, but mind you, I did not invite her. So I did have a get-together, and my get-together was for all the older women in the congregation, because I wanted to spend time with them and get to know them better. So I invited like 35 women, and they were like I said, the much older, like my grandmother, great grandmother's age, and older women of the congregation. And because I did notice that some of the get-togethers was always women and kids, and some of the older sisters just weren't there. They probably were getting together without me, and I just didn't know. But I had one of my own. So, and this is where it gets back into kind of the cliquish part. So I got my invitations together, and I also wrote a letter that went along with the invitation. And I let one of the older sisters know that I was inviting to come, that I was going to bring the invitations and pass out the invitations. And then she let me know, no, if you do it at the hall, you have to slip it in their bag and not let other people know that you're inviting them, because then feelings would get hurt. And then I thought back to how my feelings got hurt because someone else told me about someone else's get together because they didn't know that they didn't like me. So, but I didn't want it to look cliquish. It was for the older sisters, so it was like an age group attached to it. Older sisters, no little children, if that makes sense. But and so I did take her advice and pass them out discreetly. And then also in the letter I put, so I did invite the circuit overseer's wife and some of the older pioneers who'd been with that congregation for 40 years or more. So within my letter I put, that I wanted to spend time with them, but I also put, because since we were adults, I was serving adult juice. So I was serving adult juice, and I wanted them to know that I was serving adult juice because I did not want them to. I remember the words I was saying. If a certain brother has, like, some don't drink adult juice at all or have adult juice at all because there might have been someone there who might have had a problem with adult juice, like an addiction to adult juice. So I just put in there, and I put the scripture in there about everything served, everything in moderation, and it was not going to hurt my feelings if they felt that they could not attend because we were going to have adult juice. And so I passed the letter out, and what ended up happening is other sisters from other congregations heard about it, and other sisters wanted to invite other people. Well, my space would only hold so many people because I invented like a little venue at an apartment complex. And so I got phone calls from people that were saying, oh, I wasn't at the meeting, I didn't get my invitation, or you must have missed me, I didn't get my invitation. And I didn't want to turn them away, so I said, sure, you can come, sure you can come, sure you can come. And it was supposed to be 35 and ended up being 55. The elders, it was actually the circuit overseer's wife, came to me the Sunday before the get-together, and she said that I got your invitation, I would like to come, but I won't be coming. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, and she said the reason she wasn't coming is because I was serving adult juice. And so I was like, oh, okay. But I had put in there, if you felt that that was a problem for you, then, you wouldn't have to attend. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, because I was not going to change my menu, my plans, the fact that we're having adult juice, because one person felt like, and she was a circuit overseer's wife, she didn't feel it was appropriate. So I told her that, that was fun. She went on her merry way, and I still was going to have my party with the adult juice. So the day of the party, I'm there, I'm decorating, getting things together, the food's together, everything's great. It's time for everybody to start showing up. Everyone's showing up, and these sisters, just checking my time, these sisters, I saw them in a way I had never seen them before. They were, not saying they were boring at the hall, but it's always so, but, they were lively, funny, dancing. They moved the coffee tables out the way. They created a dance floor. I had the food, and then I chose, after everybody had started eating and got some food in their belly, I decided to go ahead and make the special drinks, right? The special adult juice and things like that. And the sisters moved some stuff off the table. They got cards going, and there was just laughter everywhere. There was a Soul Train line going. We were having an absolute ball, right? So then there was a knock at the door, and so I was like, I was like, everybody's here that I know should be here, and that were coming. And then I opened the door, and lo and behold, standing there wiping her feet, the very woman who did not want me at her home, and the very woman who hurt me to my face, hurt me to my heart, in my face, was sitting there wiping her feet. And so she said, "Is this where the party's at?" And the other sisters who she was very close to, because this was a hall that everybody was related in some kind of way, or very close in some kind of way, and she was a pioneer. So, and she knew that she had been ugly to me, and yet she stood there with a smile on her face, wiping her feet. And I really did not want to let her in, but I did, because the sisters who were playing cards were right by the door, and they were, "Hey, sister such and such, you made it." And again, I was trying to figure out how she got the addresses, because everybody there was her friend, or probably a relative. She comes right on in, enjoys herself, eats, drinks, and had a ball. And at the end of the party, she does give me the, "Oh, thank you, for the party," and she leaves. And everybody's gone. But I had a ball. I'll never forget that. We talked about it for days. Everybody talked about it, and was looking forward to the next one. But I'm saying all this to say that these were people, the sisters, especially the elders' wives and the circuit overseer wives. They were the women that were supposed to be held to a higher standard, and they were the ones that were supposed to be our mentors. They were supposed to be the one that had wisdom and guidance, and were always critiquing us younger ones on our behavior, our parenting, our attire, everything. I was critiqued on my attire. I was critiqued because one time I didn't have a slip on, but mind you, the dress that I had on went all the way down to my feet, and it was not thin, and you could not see through it, because I always checked to make sure you couldn't see through it. But the sister came from way across the other side of the hall to come way over there and says, "Next time you wear a dress, you need to make sure you have a slip on." And mind you could not see anything. So even me, I was still wondering, why was she checking me so hard to come over here to even say that to me? But, so yeah, critiqued over your clothing. So you just never knew when you showed up at the hall if you were going to be pulled into the back room about your attire, which that didn't happen very often, fortunately. But yeah, that one particular sister did critique me on my attire. Cliquish. So we are all supposed to spend the rest of our lives together in paradise, happy, no sickness, no death, none of that. But yet they were being cliquish, they were being rude, they were being cruel, they were being petty, they were being condescending, they were just being downright nasty. And sad to say, I thought that I just wasn't doing enough the right way. Like I wasn't being I need to do better. I need to be a better witness, a better sister, and then to prove to them that I was worthy of their clique. And that wasn't the case. What it was is that I needed to leave and never go back. But I didn't see it that way. So I hung around trying to prove to certain sisters that I was worthy of being part of their group. That sister, after the fact, she was more cordial, but that interaction that we had, it never. She knew that. I won't say that she felt she was wrong, but she knew that our interaction between the two of us was never going to be like it could have been, or could be, or was with other sisters that I had a loving sister relationship, because I was very, very close to these other people, but she and I could never get there. And to this day, I don't know why. Yeah, don't know why. And I was around that woman for over 20 years. And she was definitely old enough to be my mother, but she had issues with me that I don't know what the answers were to. So, the cliquish part of it, and like I said, we're supposed to spend eternity together, and yet, how are we going to spend eternity together when you can't even be cordial and kind to your own sister, your own spiritual sister? So that's what I want to talk about, is that certain congregations were real cliquish. It was like high school sometimes. But the high school part of it is that the worst part is that some of the people who were acting the worst weren't even the age of high schoolers. They were grown tail people. Well, that's all I wanted to say for now, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you.